Everybody mute your.
I don't even know how to do that.
Well, never mind then. It's all good.
I'll just be quiet.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Sidebar Street and Culture Parkway. I am Zim Digital, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy Gino. Me maintaining and explaining. That's what it is. Welcome to the show, Sidebar Street and Culture Parkway, and here we go.
Hey, Nico, man. We're back. Let's talk about it. Hey,
Oh,
Oh,
I'm Big Sty. What's up, y'all? Let's get it. You
Salute.
know what I mean?
hey,
Welcome to the
Yes,
show,
sir.
partner.
Likewise,
yeah,
man.
welcome to
Absolutely.
Sidebar Street and
Thank you
Culture
for having me.
Parkway. Hey,
Thank you.
so
Thank you.
now that we have you here on the show,
Mhm.
we'd like you to introduce yourself to the audience here. You know what I'm saying? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, what you specialize in, and then we're gonna get into an interview. Each of us gonna ask you a few questions, and then we'll move into the topic of the day.
All
So,
right. Um, well, my name is Big Sty. Uh, I'm an entertainer, music entertainer, hip hop. Been doing it professionally for about 20 years now. I'm most well known for a diss record that I did in 2004, late 2003, early 2004, called "It's a Problem." Um, I've I've been signed to rap a lot before. Been on tour with Scarface and them, and uh, currently I just pretty much do music for the love of it. I still get gigs here and there, but mostly it's just for the love of it. I'm not trying to compete with what's going on out there. I just do my little thing and have fun. You know what I mean? I also from time to time, go to VCU and do lectures at a hip hop class that they have there. Stuff like
Ah,
that. But yeah,
word,
yeah.
word. So, I got some questions for you. I don't know if you want to answer them on the live. You know what I'm saying? Because you know,
I can
um, it,
answer
it
anything, man. Let's
it
go.
it may be too sensitive. You know what I mean? I mean,
hot
to what
seat,
you're about to
hot
do
seat.
with your career. So I don't know. You recently
Shoot your
posted
shot. Shoot
something.
your shot. Let's see what you got.
Okay,
Right?
Shoot
okay.
your shot. Let's see what you got.
So you recently posted something about the fact that you've gotten into sync licensing, and I
Right.
wanted
Right.
to I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you, like, if you could share with us to what degree that you kind of like locked in on that.
Actually, somebody reached out to me, and thankfully they did because it's something I've been wanting to get into for over 10 years now. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
of where I saw the music industry going is in relationship to artists like myself. It, kind of, as far as mainstream rap goes, the lyricist is like obsolete. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
um, but
absolutely.
it's something I've been seeking out ever since the internet started to blow up. I mean, not the internet, but social media started to blow up. I ran into a guy, and this was, I think maybe 2008, 2007. He was a jazz player and regular guy, worked a regular job out here, but he would, from time to time, he was an older cat. He would, from time to time, put out these little CDs of his, stuff and put it out there. And he told me one time he got a call from a Hollywood production company. And they said, and this is before I knew what the term sync deal meant. I just knew I wanted to get into television and media and movies and stuff like that.
Right.
And he said this Hollywood production company reached out to him and they wanted to use 10 seconds of one of his songs. So he was like, okay. And they, said, we'll pay you in this, that, and the third. He was like, okay, fine. They sent him the contract. What blew his mind was how much they wanted to pay him. So he called them back and was like, yo, I just want to make sure that I'm reading this contract right. That y'all ain't messed this up. Yeah. And they said, no, that's what it is. $150,000 for 10 seconds of one of his songs. And that's when my mind started to open up where, and this is why I try to get a lot of artists into, especially now we're in a time where you have so many television and movie outlets. They need music. Every one of these episodes, every one of these TV programs, they need new music. You know what I mean? And it costs them too much to go to a Drake or Beyonce. So they want underground artists. You know what I'm saying? They want independent artists. You know what I mean? And, yes, absolutely. And it's way a lot of these rappers that I've heard about, but you never hear. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. That's how they got, to a degree of where people started to acknowledge them and hear about them is because they started with sync deals, your Dom Kennedys, you know what I mean, and cats like that. That's how they got where they are. Because let's be real, I've never heard a Dom Kennedy record that blew up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But he's very popular. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, who?
And Vince Staples is another one. You know what I'm saying? You never hear these cats on the radio. You never hear them having these big club records, but you hear about them. And they'll tell, and Vince Staples speaks about this very candidly. You know what I mean? It's on YouTube where he talks about his sync deals, and he was on Drink Champs talking about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but it is definitely, and I push this to all artists, please pursue that. You know what I mean? Especially independent artists. It's a way for you to eat, and and it's the easiest way. You don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to perform. You don't have to promote.
Right.
Yeah, you don't ever have to hit the stage. You don't have to promote, market, anything. If they pick your tracks, they pay you up front. Plus, you get a percentage off of the show and everything, or the TV, whatever, the commercial, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You eat. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage every artist to pursue that. You know what I mean?
Word.
Absolutely.
You Gino, smack him with a question, man.
Now, just on the same level that you're talking about, as I was thinking, is that more geared toward as far as the sync deal? Is it favorable more for an indie artist or like a industry artist? You know what I mean? If you got a deal going on, or is it fair play?
I would assume, and I couldn't tell you because each when you're in these deals, you're not privy to everybody's information. So it's just you're one-on-one with the company, and they pitch your music and all that. So, but I would assume it will is because for signed artists, unless a label is a newly signed artist that they're trying to get popping, but a signed artist, it's a lot more paperwork that has to be gone through to get cleared.
Right.
When an indie artist is you directly with the company and production company that's dealing with you. You know what I mean? It's not a whole lot of red tape that you have to go through. And it also builds your fan base, because I'm a music fan. So when I see a TV show and I hear a song on it that I've never heard before, I will go look that up and find it. You know what I mean? and it builds your fan base that way too. So you can, don't get it twisted, you can get gigs and get more streams from just being on a TV show. You know what I mean? Just having your music on a TV show. You know what I mean? It's not just you sit back, but you can get booked and you know what I mean? Build your fan base on that level as well.
Okay,
you know?
okay. That makes sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like
Let's talk about that
Stylish
topic
up,
though. What you bringing to the
Hold
table
up.
today?
Let Nico get
Okay, my bad.
get his
I
word,
feel like-
man.
Let's go.
I feel
Yeah,
like you
man.
really touched on it earlier, so I might already. I think I know where you're gonna go with it, but given that you said it, now you're doing it for the love of it and everything like that.
Mhm.
What do you think the direction should be? You know what I mean, for the indie artists and stuff like that. Maybe that are older, or you know what I mean, or just in areas where people are not really looking at them. Do you think that stylistically they should be focused on, you know what I mean, developing their own style because they love it, or do you think that they should be looking at it more commercially and be trying to follow what's currently popular to try to get themselves?
I'm never with the follow. I'm never with the follow, man. Always be genuinely you. Be an artist. I hate the copycats, or I'm gonna keep up with what's going on. Yo, I don't like that. If everybody going left, I go right. You be genuinely yourself. But the difference is now what artists have to do. As an indie artist, you really have to think like a businessman. You have to think like an entire label. You have to learn how to brand yourself, market yourself in your own market. You know what I'm saying? And think outside of the box, you know, and create your own little bubble. It can be done. It just takes a lot more work. You know what I'm saying? And no, you may not have 1 million followers. You know what I'm saying? But if you get a few hundred, you know what I'm saying? That's all right. You know, and that's going to lead into what we get ready to talk about. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, you know. But nah, I'm never with the try to do what everybody else is doing. It's already 21 Savages and little babies. Yo, why would you want to try to be them? That shit disgusts me. I mean, I'm sorry, I mean curse. That turns me completely off. I'm an artist, man. Be you, be genuinely you, and I tell every artist that, man. That's what separates you from everybody else.
Absolutely.
You know, your story. That's what makes you unique. Because it's not a whole lot that hasn't been talked about under the sun, right? So you have to put your own, you have to personalize your music in a way that separates you. Because we may have ran the streets together. You may have done some of the same things that I've done, but my unique experiences are still going to be different from yours. You know, and that's the part that people miss, because I hear a lot of rappers talking about the same thing the same way.
Right.
And it's like, bro, yes, I know you've been in the streets and you know you probably hustled and this, that, and the third, but there are situations and little pieces and nuggets that nobody else has ever done like you or experienced on the level that you have. So you have to find a way to individualize yourself with that. You know what I mean? And that's my whole thing. Because I always say hip hop is nothing but one big conversation. And if I can't add to the conversation, then ain't no need for me talking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
right.
You got a whole room of dudes saying the same thing the same way. Why the fuck do I need to say anything?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's my point. Like, yo, if you can't find an angle or an approach that's different from somebody else, shut up until you can.
Right.
You know, I hate hearing the redundancy. You know?
That cookie cutter nonsense, man. Yeah.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you.
So anybody else got any more questions they wanna you got to follow
Why would
up?
you think that was too sensitive to talk about, Zim?
Nah,
I'm saying like I don't, some people they want to be on the hush hush and whatnot, and
With
I
their
understand
business,
why
yeah, some people,
because
nah, man,
of
it's all love. But
marketability and stuff.
because, and I understand that, and I hate when artists do that because this type of information is beneficial to somebody else. Somebody else can might never knew what a sync deal was to go out here and say, well, let me try to do that. You know what I'm saying? So nah, man, we got to share this information, man.
Right.
Yo, man, that's what we're here for.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We appreciate you for that, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
if anybody doesn't have another question they want to follow up with Sty on with, we'd like you to introduce us to your topic that you have for us today. And let's get into that, man. We're kind of eager to hear what you have to say on this subject because
it up.
We just got to chopping it up with
with
OZ.
I'm eager to hear what y'all gotta say, man. I've been hearing a lot of different perspectives, man.
Yeah.
But the topic I want to talk about is the effects that AI can potentially have on the music industry as of how we see it coming out right now. How it can potentially affect the music industry moving forward in the future.
All right. So what do you hold on. Let him give us where his mind is
what
on
I
this
feel
first. Yeah, because
I'm gonna give you the pro and the con. So for me, I feel on one side, with everybody having access to create their own Drake verse, their own Future verse, Beyonce hook, I feel on one side that it'll oversaturate the market. You know what I mean? First of all, it's gonna hurt the music industry financially because now the artists aren't going to be getting paid, aren't going to be able to get paid for a lot of this stuff, and it's just going to be confusing when it comes down to that part. You know what I mean? Unless they get a hold onto it. You know what I mean? In some way, try to, like they did with Napster, because it's almost like, almost can destroy it in a way Napster did. You know what I mean? Yeah, they shut Napster down, but it didn't stop free music from getting out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now with this, you got all these little kids eager to get, 21 Savage on a hook or 21 Savage on a verse. Now, hey, I can do that right here and just throw all this and flood the market with all of this music and stuff that's not authentic. You know what I mean? And I think to a degree, it'll oversaturate the market and a lot of people going to lose a lot of money. You know what I mean? For the indie artists, I think that's a great open door. With the open saturation, again, it gives you the opportunity to focus on your market and really make your imprint at that moment. Because my theory is people get tired when you get fed too much of something, you start looking for something else. You know what I mean? And my theory is people will get tired of the oversaturation if it continues to grow and move like it is at its rapid pace. People get tired of oversaturation and start looking for their local artists to give them something different, something new. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that could be an opportunity for dudes in their markets to say, okay, let me start being more creative. Right. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the more creative artists. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just that's just the way I see it. Is my hope. You know what I'm saying? Because I would love to see that happen. I would love to see the music industry destroy itself and eat itself. Right. You know what I'm saying? If it came to that. You know what I mean? But on the flip, and Mike Street brought this to me. He was like, well, at one end, music industry is trying to get a hold of it. They're sending out cease and desist letters to these AI apps and stuff like that. So his thing, the way he put it to me, and it made sense. He was like, it'll be more competition for the indie artists because now you have to compete with the major artists, the AI stuff that's being pushed, and the artists that are on your level at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you already know if they're making AI generated music, they're gonna create the music industry could capitalize on it on another way by saying, yo, we'll create, they already tried this with the AI artists.
Yep. Sure
You know what I'm
did.
saying? And there could be an opening for them to really push that type of agenda. You know what I mean? And just start putting out AI artists and AI music. You know what I mean? And my fear is my granddaughter will grow up, you know what I'm saying? Because they already doing virtual shows. Now you get virtual shows with AI artists and AI music. Now everything's fake. You know what I'm saying?
AI.
Word.
Deep fake.
What are your thoughts,
It's all
Nico?
Yeah.
deep fake.
What are your thoughts on that?
So what are y'all thoughts?
I mean, I initially, of course, have a lot of trepidation about AI
Mhm.
because it is something that I feel like, by and large, the community is not creating. Therefore, we are not in full knowledge of all of the information that is coming back from the AI. So
Mhm.
things that you might tap into a generator today might not be allowed tomorrow, and things like that. And then it's like, well, who chose to disallow that? Who's going back and having this reports, and what are the questions that
Mhm.
we're not asking? Um,
Mhm.
but then also when it goes into artistry, because I am sort of an artist first. Um, I think that while you will see an influx of really lazy artists popping up, utilizing AI as their main format, I think what you'll end up finding is the strength of songwriters and stuff like that will still be there,
Mhm.
because one of the greatest things about our favorite artists is their consistent voice throughout their music. And even if they grow or they change, somebody like Eminem, I mean, my man grew so dynamically, even through going through rehab and stuff like that. But the way that he saw things is the same. His
Mhm.
personality is still very legible throughout the entirety of his catalog.
Right.
Once you have artists that are going to start being really, really cookie cutter, and I mean, it's crazy because some people would say that some of the artists now are really cookie cutter, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you can look at their catalog and hear them. You can hear them,
Right.
which will change if your music is then being written by AI in entirety.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, if you are a high level artist, though, you may be able to plug in some things that just change a perspective or a way of looking at something. And then you'll still be able to put your own spin on it. Somewhat like we had spoken before about playing chess against yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be nice to have an assistant to start that game for you. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So that you're not mirroring yourself when you start the game. But again, I think that goes into the hopes, because uh, I definitely see a lot of space for a lot of nefarious things to go on, and
Absolutely.
and first
Yeah,
for
man.
that to be
Yeah.
first what happens. Um, the rewriting of who our artists are and things like that, our dances and stuff like that is already happening. So, and because it's already happening so quickly in real time,
Mhm.
it we haven't yet faced the AI rewriting of what I mean, erasure of us. So
Exactly,
I
man.
know exactly what you mean. I know
Exactly.
exactly what you mean. Like I completely
You
agree
know?
with both of y'all on the same topic y'all talking about is it's a double-edged sword for me. Like, you know, what I mean, it cuts
Yeah.
both ways, and it depends on what. To me, it depends on what society is on at that point. You know, what I mean, if we're on like, okay, AI is capable of producing this type of uh results for me. If I'm smart enough to, you know, what I mean, to utilize this thing and put out some content that's actually good, I think it's a very beneficial thing. Now, I also see a lazy person coming in and saying, "Hey, look, just can you do this?" And it spits out this, and then say, you know, based on what
Yeah.
how they're connected, they could be the ones. So the guy who really is the artist, just because he's not connected, you know what I mean? But AI spits something for him, like it hurts that the true art. That's
Right.
my problem with it. It hurts the
Yeah.
true art of what we're talking
That's
about as far as
that's
like,
my biggest thing, man.
you know what I mean?
That's my biggest thing. Yep.
And
I really,
Absolutely.
financially it hurts. Financially it hurts because again, we're saying the same thing for me. Because even what I
Mm-hmm.
was saying, you're going to lose because you have to then build a catalog for people to listen to and be able to differentiate. Oh no, this is a real artist. This
Mm-hmm.
guy changes every time. You know what I mean? Like for every song, his entire viewpoints change, his entire speech, like everything
Right.
about this man changes.
I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same artist.
I'm
You
not
know, like
too, I'm
Right.
not too, I'm not afraid about what AI can do because, like I'm somewhat, like mirroring the statement of Big Sty when he said that what he thinks is it's going to force, um, independent artists, you know what I mean, or non-industry artists
Yeah.
work to the forefront. I really believe
Right.
that may
Mm-hmm.
be the case due to the fact that people these days, and I've been seeing a trend that people have been looking these days for authenticity. You know what I'm saying? In
Thank you.
in
And
in the music
that's
that
my
they've been
hope.
chasing. You
Yeah.
know, like we're really looking for something that's going to feed us. And like people have been going getting on this conscious level, this woken, this awakenness or whatever, for lack of a better word, and that's where most of the people who are like purists in the listenings that they do find themselves searching online for like the content that feeds their soul. You know what I mean? Like I for one
Mm-hmm.
don't listen to stuff that I know that it's just trash, it's damaging, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
can't do it, you know what I mean? Like I'm a certain age now where like I'm not trying to turn up to that, you know what I'm saying, anymore, you feel me?
Right.
And so I think
Yeah.
AI, although being beneficial on one side, like you got a lot of good things that you could do with like chat gtp and stuff like that, right? But then you got this other side of chat gtp that functions with music and stealing people's artwork and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I do
Yeah.
think there's going to be regulations
Yeah.
in place, you know what I mean? But just like you said, Napster, it's this is like the it's an advent, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a takeover type thing, you know what I'm saying? I really don't think it's
Nah.
going to be a takeover type thing. I know that businesses are using it and they're already making, they've been making money off of it for a freaking year now, a year and some change now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And who's to
Absolutely.
know that AI has not already done the job of within the year's time and some change of
Mm-hmm.
writing all of these artists' music, being as we hear them mirroring each other all the freaking time, like it's cookie
Mm-hmm.
cutter. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
perhaps they have
Absolutely.
already been using this bad boy to kick out,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I
I'm
mean, music
I
for
mean
various artists. You know what I mean, in the
I truly
industry.
believe that, man, because by the time we hear about it or by the time they make anything public like that, they've already been doing it for a
Right.
minute.
Right.
You know, especially anything tech wise, they've already been doing it.
But
They
that stuff
just
don't
now
beat the
decide to.
purest sound. Like I'll like
That's my hope, man,
you
and
know what I
that's what I'm
mean.
hoping. And I'm hoping I mean, of course, a lot of people gonna follow, but I'm hoping it's gonna be a lot of people that will be looking for more authentic, more creative music. You know what I mean? And it'll give an opportunity for real dope artists independent creative artists to really start to be heard. Because a lot of people gonna be like, yo, I can't, it's too much. It's gonna be
Mhm.
too much.
I got a question
You know what I'm
for you while
saying?
we here on this AI thing.
Yeah.
Nico, we not gonna cut off until we write. But look, I just want to ask you while we here, what have you typed into Chat GTP lately?
Who, me?
Yeah,
You talking to me?
yeah.
What did I type? Um, what did I type?
No, Joe,
The last thing I typed.
I said it wrong. Chat GPT. My
Yeah.
bad. My
Right,
bad.
right.
Okay,
I was
okay.
about to correct you. I'm
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
get on
yeah,
you real
yeah.
quick,
I
but yeah.
typed,
Go ahead.
I typed in something about how I came up, from the time I was small until my teenage years, just to see how it would put it into a perspective for it. You know what I mean? That's all. I haven't really done a whole lot with that. You know what I mean?
What did it tell you?
But I just want it just basically spit back what I said, but just added,
Okay.
a lot more, detail, or what I mean, a little ambiance to it. You know what I mean? I was just curious to see what it would do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really mess around with a whole lot of tech. I'm not that kind of guy. But my man said, he was like, "Hey man, you need to try this. This, that, and the third." I said, "Okay." So first, I do my little psychology, quotes. So once I did that first to see how it would, expand on, my little psychology quotes that I put up.
Yeah,
Made a
AI is a
broader
mug
statement
out
of what
here.
I already did. Huh?
I say AI is a mug out here. Like
Yeah,
it's
I see a lot of people doing a lot of extra stuff with it. I ain't really do a whole lot with it. I just typed in a couple things just to
So
see how it worked and how it really, expanded on a thought or any type of content you put in it. But all the other stuff, like I heard you can make beats and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a whole lot of stuff that I ain't got into all that.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
that's the nonsense of it of what to type into this bad boy. Like people have like these really basic ideas when they think about what to type
Right,
into an AI, and they don't really understand the power of what this tool really can do. You know what I mean? And
right, right, right.
so I
And
think if
that
anybody,
was
huh?
I was curious as to that, what you just said, to see exactly what it can do. And I just typed in a couple little phrases of my own just to see what it would do. And it just pretty much just made a broader statement of what I had already typed in, but I was just curious as to how it worked.
There's a
You
whole
know what I
nother
mean?
level to that thing, man. I don't know if you've heard about it, but they've got a thing called prompts that you can get more
Mm,
out of the GPT by adding certain prompts, because there are certain parameters that it sticks you into. So if you type in like a regular sentence, you're gonna get what the chat GTP gives everybody else. But if you add in prompts, then you'll get a little bit
it'll
further
expand
deeper
on it.
into
See,
your,
yeah,
you know
I
what I
didn't,
mean?
and I guess that's a level where you got to pay for. I just
Nah.
used the free part.
Look,
I don't
actually,
know.
I went on YouTube to find out about, because I just recently found out about this whole thing about it, like last week when I had our last guest talking about this subject, and
Mm,
after that, I went on like a broader study where I went on YouTube and I typed in, I was like, what I typed in, I was like, what have you typed in Chat GPT? And it gave me a list of videos of people explaining what they typed into it and all this other stuff. And then this other guy came up with prompts, and
wow.
it gave you a more in-depth way to use it. And since I've typed in
oh
some
indeed.
pretty nuts things, like, you know what I mean, I've asked, okay, this bad boy can literally write you business proposals. It can
Oh, absolutely.
and
Yeah,
after you write the
that's
bit,
what I heard. I
yeah,
heard.
Absolutely.
I mean, like you can literally
It
put it in there, business proposal, and then you can say, hey, well, if it'll write the whole thing out, right? And say you wanted it didn't write it in
Wow.
bulletins, so you can say, add me bulletins, and it remembers what you already put into the conversation, so it updates itself with this new
Wow.
parameter that you gave it. And you can just keep doing that until it freaking simplify. You can say, simplify this for me. You can
Mhm.
say, hey, do
Mhm.
this for me
So
in 200 words, add bulletins, and give me 20 associated hashtags, and it will do all of that. It's freaking stupid.
so so the deeper question that we need to ask here is, what are we gonna need schools for?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
What
To a degree,
are
it's
we
like,
lit down? Let's keep it a whole honey, because any information you want to get, you can find on the internet. And now in Chat GT, whatever it is, you can make your own essays, create your own college, thesauruses or whatever. What do we need schools for?
Yo, the young is a
Other than
young is
the
an
program
ace.
people.
The young
To
is an ace in college program
ensure that
students.
we are cognizant of the language that these things are being written in and that these things are being programmed with. It is still a tool of the matrix, and it's one of those things that if we are not cognizant of the control,
Yep.
so I think that if there's one thing that we really need school for right now, is to ensure that the younger ones are very fluent, if not
Mhm.
at least a couple different languages, as far as verbally, that they know a computer language. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that they are capable of actually going in and seeing how things are being done. Because, like you said, it's not magic. It's ain't.
I don't think,
I
I
mean,
don't think that
I
we,
don't think the younger generation is. I think the younger generation is more fluent with computers than
Right.
definitely more fluent than my
They
generation.
don't.
So I mean,
They
I don't
don't
think
want to
that's
social.
ever a
I
problem.
was just answering what we needed school for. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think they want a social construct. You know, what I mean, this is the thing. Like our era, we wanted to socialize. I wanted to be outside. I want to see
They
what was
don't,
going on.
bro,
They
bro,
don't want to
bro,
come
bro, bro.
outside at all.
They don't. But you got to remember, you got a whole generation growing up that never had to do that,
Mm.
and all the social devices that we use are gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Going out
Mm-hmm.
to the mall and hanging at the mall with your homies or whatever, that's dead.
That's
You know
dead.
what I'm saying? Now you have a whole generation that doesn't. We had to go out the house because we didn't have the internet. We couldn't DM a chick on social media. We had to go out and meet her.
Yeah,
But fine, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's why a lot of these kids are socially awkward, because
yeah.
they don't have those social skills.
Right.
A lot of these boys are so sensitive because they've never had to face rejection in front of a group of people.
Right.
When you in the mall and you trying to holler at a chick and she around her friends and she turn you down and you gotta get laughed at by all your boys and her friends too.
Right.
Yo, that builds character. These
Right.
young boys don't know how, never had to deal with that.
Exactly.
So now they all
Exactly.
walk around extra sensitive. Somebody say something, they ready to fire off at the smallest thing because they never had to deal with those
Preach.
things, man. And
Yeah.
now, man,
Tabernacle.
I'm telling you, y'all,
I've said
it's
something
crazy.
very
These
similar.
kids don't go out the house. We
I've
had to
said
go
something
out the
similar.
house.
I said something similar.
It's
You know,
crazy, bro.
it's wild that we have the first generation on record right now of street niggas, gangsters coming up that are scared to shoot.
Yes.
You don't never see these young niggas fighting. They
Man, listen.
Nah, but look, when you
Hey,
you ever watch
everybody's so hypersensitive, man. It's crazy,
I would
bro.
equate a woman reacting to a man putting their hands on them, like in the Wild West, like, oh, you hit me, immediately. You know what I mean? Like there is no fighting. Like there is, you hit me, bang,
Bro, it is.
they can't
Man,
last.
listen,
Yo,
man,
most of these kids can't last more than
it's wild.
3 minutes in a fight.
No.
They can't. They don't have the energy because
They
you know
don't.
what I mean.
And they don't. And the sad is,
no, what it is being able to last on that walk home with your homeboy when you lost in front of him, and y'all talking about
no, but
because they don't have that no more.
You know,
hold on.
The biggest benefit that I found with a lot of cats in my generation, cats had problems with each other. They fought, and most of the time, those two dudes will be the best of
Best
friends
friends.
afterwards.
Yes,
Best
that's
friend.
so true. It's so true.
Best
It's
friend.
so true.
That man,
Very true.
listen,
So
be
true.
tighter than that. But if not best friends, they had nothing but respect for each other.
Right.
They
Word.
shot the 5. Yo, one lost, one whatever. But yo, you know what I mean? When they saw each other, hey, what's up, man? Yo,
Word.
and yo, I've seen that happen time and time again in my generation.
In my
A lot of
era,
cats shot
we
the 5.
basically had what? We had just about every hood around had boxing gloves back when me and Gene was, you know what I'm saying,
man.
growing up.
Oh yeah.
Like in the
Oh yeah.
say around the 90s, like 99, 2000s, everybody had boxing gloves no matter where
Oh
you
yeah.
went.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Absolutely.
Each team
Absolutely.
had boxing gloves and they all battled off against each other. Them dudes was the best of friends. They was tight. You couldn't break them up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
Yeah.
Yo, but nobody's doing that no more. Nobody's doing that. And yo, and I gotta shout out Ed the Realist for he throws these fights with cats in the hood that actually have beef with each other. You know, put the guns down, put your gloves up. You know,
That's
and
cool.
I think you got one coming up. Shout out, yo, it's definitely cool, man. Cause yo,
I like
you know,
that.
and then yo, these dudes are getting in the ring. They'll fight it out, fight their real beefs out, and then you know, go on about their way. Yo, man, but that's the way you do it, man. Yo, man, that's real talk, man.
Word.
Yeah, right.
That was my only fear. That was my only fear with AI was like, okay, you know what I mean, since we're not social anymore, because you gotta understand, like, our era is over with, done with. We're living in these new we're living in this new era. This is their era.
Bro, this is crazy, right?
This is their era.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? So even if you talking about what you know what I mean, like, yo, this is their joint. This is us. This is us when we were 21. Except now they don't box, they don't do what we used to do.
Man.
So I gotta look at their era and be like, damn, this what y'all on? So I gotta take a few of them, pick a few of them and be like, hey, yo, come over here, and they really like the style.
So now y'all
from that seed right there, I know like it's gonna be a million people come from under him. It's gonna be like legit on point. You know what I mean? And that's the part.
So now y'all getting into the OG era like me, where there's some shit out here. Y'all understand this shit. You know what I mean? Now y'all graduating to that. Y'all graduating to that level, like I did with these young dudes. Like, yo,
we all OGs out here.
Absolutely, y'all, yeah, man. Man.
Word.
If you over 30, you're an OG now, bro. I'm sorry.
Hey,
you gotta take it. You gotta embrace it.
Yo,
you gotta embrace it, brother.
Don't let it fool you. I'm 4 decades Drew. You know what I mean?
Word.
My dude, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Hey man, listen, real talk. That's a blessing, bro.
I'm still a big homie.
Blessing,
I'm not for the OG yet. I'm gonna get to the OG level. You know what I mean?
Hey man, hey, how old are you? 30? If you're 30, you're an OG.
No, like that's a rank.
You're not 30.
There's things that.
Nah, bro. You go ask a 19-year-old. You go ask a 19-year-old what you are. You can say you OG. You are, dude. If you're 30,
I'm a big homie.
You are, dude, Nico.
Hey, that's about all the time we got for the show today. Before we leave out, anything you want to leave us with, Big Sty? Any words of encouragement or anything?
Man, look, let me tell you something, man. Zim, I've known you for a while, bro. You are one of the realest, first of all, and one of the most creative cats I've genuinely ever met, man. Please continue to do what you do, bro. I support you in any way I can. You already know, my nigga. So, yo, that's all I want to do, man. Keep doing what you do. Don't let anybody tell you different. I know you ain't, but, yo, that's all I want to say, man. I just want everybody to understand, man, you definitely are needed in this culture. So please keep doing your thing.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Likewise,
absolutely.
Bro. Hey, thank you everybody for watching us on Sidebar Street Culture Parkway. I am Zim Digital, and say your pieces, everybody, man. Tell them who you is.
Peace. Yeah.
Peace. We out. One love. All right, now.
One.
Yes, sir.
Nico turned the shit around.
With you. Already, you already know it, man.
Yeah, man.
One love away from Alaska. One love all the way.
Word,
Yes,
word.
sir.
Wow, you in Alaska, dog?
Yeah.
Alaska, bro.
I was just picking his brain. He got all sorts of weird shit in his fucking freezer.
Yo, you in that part where they have like 40 days of night or whatever they call it?
Nah, that's the whole state. That's everywhere out here.
Look, that's like,
Wow.